This is a big one for many women, and I often get approached with this question. So I want to read this question from this courageous woman and where she's at, and let's attempt to unpack it as best we can. I would love to hear more about your perspective on the female body clock and this insane pressure around turning 40 as a woman. Also, the societal judgments around women who don't think they want children. As a 39-year-old single woman, I currently don't want children, but at the same time, I'm an ever-evolving being, so who knows how I will feel in 2 years' time. If I were in a secure partnership, for example, this may be appealing to me. I trust that whatever is meant for me will evolve most of the time. However, there is so much societal shame around women not having or wanting children. Sometimes I do second guess myself. As I write this, I realize there is more inner work for me to do around trusting myself and my path. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's often always more inner work for us to do. And I agree with you. There is so much societal shame around a woman not having children. So many women come to me and say, my role in this world, like my only thing that I'm meant to do is have children, even though they know they have interests, they have hobbies, they have values, they have relationships, they have career paths, they have all these things in the world, like these worldly things, yet there's something in them that says, I need to have children. Now, this isn't for everyone, of course. This is one woman's experience. And in our Be the Queen program, where Christine and I work with so many single women in not only more effective dating dynamics and really honing in their dating style, their technique, what they're really looking for, but we do a lot of clearing of the past. And this is something that comes up a lot in our Be the Queen program as well, where women that are in their 30s even are thinking, I've got this biological clock, what do I do? We all have a biological clock. Yes, this is true. And please let me share this. My wife is in her 40s. We have naturally conceived almost immediately, like basically immediately. Super blessed. It's very possible. It's what priorities do you have? What do you really want? And you're right, as a woman, you may not want to have children, and that is completely okay because it's your life. You get to choose. You have the opportunity to choose what you want to do with your life. Why does society shame us? Even men. Society also shames men a little more subliminally, a little less overt, but men are shamed as well for not having children because there's this evolutionary drive, right? These mating strategies that we have purely for procreation that exists within us, exists within females and males, exists within our evolutionary biology that says to us we need to keep procreating, we need to extend the species. We need to ensure that the species survives, and we do that through procreation. So there's this drive that we do have. But there's been the advent of language. Our prefrontal cortex has developed. Our cultures are more complex. I speak to this often. These layered experiences and circumstances that we now have as a collective impact and influence the decisions that we make and what we want to make. So many of us have had a negative childhood, a childhood that has been extremely painful, distressful, like pain, fear, trauma. I was one of those children. I did not want children. I thought to myself, I'm never going to have kids because of what I experienced up until probably 4 or 5 years ago. And then I had an epiphany, an afflatus, a revelation. And I was in deep work at the time, but something hit me and it moved through me that said, I can have children if I want that. I can be a father, essentially. I can be a parent. And so you may not want children because you are very clear on your path, but maybe that's being influenced by unresolved trauma, wounds that you have not addressed as yet, low self-worth, low desirability, non-deservedness. It could be all those things, and you could just be genuinely clear that you don't want children. It can be difficult to receive all this pressure, all these different voices, competing voices outside of us, from our family, from our friends, from society, from media, telling us what we should be, what we should do, how we should act, what's important, what's not. And it confuses us. And the opportunity that we have in these moments is to get clear, is to stay our path, is to check in with ourselves. And what do we really want? What voice do we want to prioritize? What voices do we want to prioritize in our minds, in our hearts? Is it our voice? This woman here is really open from my perspective. Like at the moment, she doesn't want children. But if she's in a secure partnership, as she said, she may then want children. That could also tell her something about where she's at within her own life, what she's yearning for, what she's desiring. Maybe she's desiring safe intimacy. Maybe she didn't have safe intimacy growing up. Maybe that's an indication for her to look deeper into her formative years and her relationship with intimacy. Maybe she's just really clear that she doesn't want to have children by herself and that she's 39 years old, she's a single woman, and she's happy in her life. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But we demonize anything that's on the fringe, anything that's a little different. It's not the norm, or it doesn't align with what our values are, what we consider to be the norm. We have to stop that. So for me, like, yes, she realizes that there's some work to do. There's exploration, internal exploration, to also be able to not deal with the judgments and the shame, and not to even block them out, but to know that those judgments and that shame is not hers. Now, if she changes her mind, she has every right to, but the judgments, the external judgments and shame that is being placed upon her, that she's perceiving is not hers. Maybe part of her inner work is to realize that at a deeper level, to get super clear on her values and what she wants, and that maybe she does want children, but only under specific circumstances, and that she's okay with that. And can she be in acceptance and at peace with that? And that's a journey, and that's a process, and that's an unraveling, and that's a discovery. I'd love to hear, ladies, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This is a really big topic. Again, in the women that I work with, in the programs that I run, and it's a big topic in our society. And men, this isn't just a topic for women. I think men in this space, I want to say the minority, that external, clear, overt pressure isn't really there for us. But speaking as a man, there's something within us that also drives us to have children. If we don't have children, we feel less than, like we feel not enough. You know, our utility is lowered, and utility is a big thing for us as men. So there's something to think about there, something to explore. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Power and blessings to you.